What is he staring at? He looking out the window. Some people with a graduate walk by. He high. Nigga about to pull a dates. What he doing?
Percocet, you want one?
No.
Oh, you don't do perk?
No, I don't personally. No.
I think it's gonna be. I honestly.
Shout out to the homie Bunk.
Oh my.
You too tired of Gucci smoking a brown cigarette. Hello, world.
So, as a father,
Damn.
Lean with it, rock with it. Lean with it, rock with it. Lean with it, rock with it. Oh, damn. Shit. Bitch got a gangster lean.
Alright, peace, y'all. Peace. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the use of drugs being promoted through hip hop. Now, as far as back I could remember, the very first artist to promote drug use in their music was Rick James with the song Mary Jane. Alright, now after him, in the 80s, hip hop kind of shifted. You know, it was kind of like cool not to do drugs, right? They had songs like The Message, Public Enemy's Night of the Living Basshead, you know, even with NWA's Express Yourself, right? But one of those artists out of NWA will go on to have one of the biggest selling albums in the early 90s, which was Dr. Dre's The Chronic, right? But, you know, I mean, straightforward. This album was promoting the use of drugs straightforward, right? Out and about. You know, you had the weed, the CD. The CD actually had weed on it, right? A weed plant on it, right? Then, you know, East Coast rappers, I guess, started to see the success that Snoop and Dre was getting, and they jumped on board too. You had artists like Biggie and Wu-Tang that was rhyming about getting high and drinking and standing on the corner all day, right? But before this, on the East Coast, our rappers had knowledge of self. You had rappers like Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, all of these people, EPMD, that weren't promoting getting high, right? But like I said, hip-hop artists seen the success that Dr. Dre and Snoop was getting, and they wanted a piece of that bread too. And just so happened it worked for them, right? It worked out. Wu-Tang and Biggie were one of the biggest selling East Coast artists there was, right? So for years and years and years, the use of marijuana and drinking alcohol and standing on the corner all day was promoted through hip hop, right? Selling drugs, being a drug dealer, right? Standing on the corner, selling drugs, getting high, drinking all day. That was the lifestyle for the golden age of hip hop, right? Now, in 2004 and 5, you know, the South started taking over, right? Music started shifting towards the South more. So you had groups, you had demographics like Houston, Texas, and Atlanta that were coming up, right, in hip-hop. And with them coming up came along the culture that came along with this, right? Because cough syrup wasn't used, all right, on the East Coast like that. Like some people would say it was used in Philly, like people in Philly was drinking cough syrup, you know, back in the 60s. But The use of codeine and promethazine, that comes from Texas, right? You have people like Swisher House, DJ Screw, God rest his soul, who passed away, and Pimp C, right? That were promoting the use of drinking syrup, right? Even so much so it got popular, right? Where people like Jim Jones even got on board and started promoting syrup use, cough syrup use, with his drink Purple Scissor, right? So, he didn't have the remedy of making cough syrup, but he helped promote it, right? He helped promote it with the liquor he had, which was called Purple Syrup. So if you couldn't get codeine, you could buy this Jim Jones drink from the liquor store and pour it in your cup and act like you got scissor, right? That was the whole remedy for it. So this whole narrative to push that codeine, promethazine, came from the South's culture, right? Came from the South's culture. Now, fast forward to 2008 and 2009, where I truly believe, in my opinion, where Big Pharma got involved with hip hop. Now, these pharmaceutical companies started to take notice on how much rap music was selling, right? And they wanted in. They wanted in, all right? So I truly believe that a lot of these pharmaceutical companies were going hand in hand with record companies and putting money behind these artists, okay, to help promote their product, right? Along with companies such as Sprite and Jolly Rancher as well, right? But Jolly Rancher didn't get too much on board. But I truly believe Sprite is in cahoots with hip hop. But I'm going to get into that later on down the line. So now, once these big pharmaceutical companies get involved with hip hop and they're starting to fund, okay, they're funding, all right, because you got to understand that pharmaceutical companies are billionaire companies. These are billion-dollar companies, right? So once they started to fund these hip-hop artists, the record labels had more of a budget, okay, to deal with. But all the rapper would have to do would be to put this bottle of Actavis, which is now banned, in their video, right? And make it cool that the kids would want to buy it, okay? Make the stocks go up for these companies, right? So now, antidepressants, painkillers, cough syrup, all of these things are being promoted through hip hop, all right? And we're having deaths along with it as well. ASAP Yams to be one of them, Pimp C to be another. So many people in hip hop have died through the use of opioids, right? Now, it wasn't until Justin Bieber had actually overdosed on some cough syrup by the name of Actavis, right? Now, once this took place, Actavis had went out of business, okay, because it had gotten out of hand. So much to the point where a lot of rappers were actually getting bulk shipments of this promethazine crap, and they were selling it to fellow rappers. Right? We all know that there was a drug trade going on within the rap community, right? But these people were getting so much loads of this cough syrup, it became out of hand. Now, we take a look at hip-hop today, we have so many artists that are promoting the use of opioids in their music, to the point where these artists are actually getting checks from these pharmaceutical companies as well. Along this time when these artists came into play, the record companies would give the artist a drug budget, okay, what you would call a drug budget. So if you would sign a record deal, right, and whatever drug preference you desire, whether it be Adderall or cocaine or painkillers or codeine, right? Or whatever it was, weed, marijuana, alcohol, whatever your drug of choice was, the record labels would take a specific budget out for your drug use, okay, every single month, All right. Now, some people would say, "Oh, this is when you see these rappers and they talk about, yeah, I smoke pounds a day, right? Which we know is not even realistic, but they have the access to get these type of things, all right. But we've had so many rappers, with such as Little Uzi on his song, "EXO Tour Life," where he says, "She say that I'm insane. Yeah, I might blow my brain out. Xanny help the pain. Yeah, please Xanny make it go away. I'm committed, not addicted, but it keep control of me. All this pain now I can't feel it. I swear that it's slowing me." Okay, you got little Xan. Xans don't make you. Xan's gonna take you. Xan's gonna fake you. Xan's gonna betray you. You know, you got people like Kodak Black that said, "I got codeine in my liver. Too many years." All right. It became a heavily thing to be used and promoted. Even now, to the point where you got rappers like Lil Yachty saying that he never did drugs before the day in his life, but he's getting codeine. All right, getting codeine through TSA and customs. All right, when have there ever been a rapper, okay, allowed to take codeine, okay, through customs? Okay, I've never heard of being able to transport drugs from one country. I don't care if it's one bottle or not. How do you get a prescription for that? Okay, but you've had people like 2 Chainz as well that promoted the use of cough syrup in his music. All right, so now this is what I truly believe, guys. I think that they want to get these kids as high as possible, okay, so they can be reliant on them when they drop the bomb. All right, because there's no such reason why these drugs would be heavily promoted, all right, through hip hop. I mean, every last artist that you can think of, raps about getting high. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's not a rapper that is on the codeine path, right? Now you have these rappers promoting the use of psychedelics. Okay, they're doing psychedelics, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. Anything that's going to keep you disassociated from reality, okay, is a tactic of theirs. All right? We must remember that Aleister Crowley was adamant of using psychedelics. He is the actual first person to get psychedelics involved in the entertainment community. So when these people are using this stuff, let me be honest with you guys, and I'm not trying to be funny, but psychedelics, those are white people drugs. Leave that stuff alone if you out there doing that in the hood. Now, it says you want to unlock some stuff that you never witnessed before, hey, by all means. But I'm just telling you, be safe out there, guys. But with that being said, just be hip and stay wise to what's going on, because they playing all type of tactics out here, y'all. All right. With that being said, though, peace. I hope everybody has a blessed week. Stay safe out there, and the rest. Peace.